A lot of people are dying with their dreams because they're in survival mode.
How do you get out of survival mode?
Recognizing when you're in survival mode, but I think the biggest thing for getting out of survival mode is finding something that you love to do and lock in. Figure out how you can make this passion a paycheck. Block out the outside noise. Don't compare yourself. And only follow people on social media that are in that niche. A lot of us have the same story. A lot of us come from similar backgrounds. Whatever you're seeing is reflective of what you want to be. If you see it, you can do it.
A lot of y'all content not taking off because, or it's not creating impact because you're not being yourself. We want to see your hair balled up like this. All that, set the phone up, walk 50 feet back, come back and pick the camera up. We want to see you just like this with your moo on. And sometimes, y'all don't want to hear it, but sometimes it's okay. You have to tell a little bit of your business. Definitely if you are on a divine assignment with God, you're going to have to tell that testimony, baby. We want to see those edges crawled up. We want to see the back of your head matted up a little bit. It just is what it is. That's the real transparency. That's what TikTok likes to see. We want to see that moo-moo. You and that moo-moo. Period. Straight up. This is why your content not blowing up. Because you keep showing us everything that's not authentic.
Ever feel like no matter how hard you try, you just can't create? Your ideas are locked away and all you can do is survive. It's taking me almost 2 months to edit a video about not being able to create in survival mode. And lo and behold, I am in survival mode trying to make a video about survival mode. It's really interesting with the way life works because you just never know where you're supposed to be, and that's where I'm at right now. I have been, I think, in survival mode for about 6 months now. It looks different every day. I thought that I would have certain things by now. I thought I would be excelling in my career by now, or at least being closer. And it's a weird place to be because I thought that I would always have the same dream. But for the first time in 11 years, I don't feel that great about the dream that I have or had, or I don't even know where I'm at with it. There's just no passion, no drive. I'm so uninterested. I'm so uninspired by a lot of things. And I'm still trying to continue to get up and go. And I'm trying to stay positive. Every day I wake up, maybe not as early as I used to, but I still try to get up. I still try to get dressed. I would shower first and then get dressed and then leave the house, because if I rot in my bed, which I would, that's not going to help anything. That's not going to make me any better. So I'm just trying to figure out what all this means for me. And there's just a level of grief that I'm also going through on top of I don't even want to say this is a midlife crisis, because I don't feel like I'm midlife. Like 33 years old is not midlife. I don't care what anyone says. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to be a better version of myself each and every day, which is hard when you don't feel like anything is really moving or anything's really changing. I do have newer interests. I do have things that feel more important to me these days than being on the silver screen, which I don't know. I think that's probably a hard concept for me to grasp. And there's other things in my personal life that I'm just like, what? That is insane. That's so weird. For example, I reconnected with my dad, my biological dad, a couple of weeks ago, probably a month ago by now. And it was actually a pretty good thing, but it just made me realize how much of my life has been warped. I don't want to say warped, but kind of modeled by his behavior without me even knowing it. And I'm sure we all go through that, mother wound, father wound thing. Long story short, habitual ghoster, like super ghoster, even for things that are so simple. You could just say yes or no. And I don't know. I think it is, I don't know. There's a word for it, I think they say in therapy. But for me, I don't feel that affected by his actions because I'm used to it. I know there's a word for that, but it is what it is. Like, because people are like, oh, you're so sad because your dad keeps ghosting you. Because it's not like he doesn't talk to me. He talks to me, but he don't be saying much. He doesn't say anything real. It's just very surface level. And I realized that, but there's also other things in my life where, I don't want to say grew up with my mom, but I grew up with my mom in my life. So I already know that whole wound and whatever that means, but I feel like they're both just attacking me at once. While I'm trying to figure out what the hell I want to do in my life. And it's just weird. It's so weird. I'm sorry. Because I'm a planner. I'm a habitual planner. I have planned, calculated, and had goals my whole entire life. I've never been in this space where it's like, okay, what now? What else? It's so weird. And even in my romantic life, like, I feel like I want different things now. I know when we're younger, it's easier to fall for looks, or being attracted initially to looks, and that being enough, and that being okay, and like love being enough. And I'm just realizing that it's not. And there's just so much more that goes into it, and there's just so much more work that needs to be done on an individual to have a healthy, thriving relationship. And it doesn't have to be toxic. It doesn't have to be abusive for that revelation to come in. My God, guys. What is this video about? This video is just about, I don't know. Maybe we don't always have to have it figured out. Maybe we could just keep going no matter what. And that's what this documentary is. It's not even a documentary, child. Y'all are watching me on YouTube, and who knows how long this video is, but just know that your brain is playing tricks on you. I know it is on me, trying to tell me that I'm behind or I'm late, but I'm not, because I'm in control. So I'm just trying to keep that mindset. Let's try to keep editing this video, and maybe this video will be at the end of this video. Who knows what is happening?
Listen, no one is coming to save you. I need you to hear me. Not the government, not your job, not your partner, not your parents. Okay? If you want a different life, you have to choose it. And then you have to fight for it, like your soul depends on it. Because it does. I keep talking about joy because that's the thing that's going to save you. Everything you hate about your life is waiting for you to get honest already. Everything you want is already inside, but you'll never touch it if you keep blaming, waiting, numbing, or pretending. Okay, the system, the matrix of this whole shit is built to distract you. It's built to drain you, to make you doubt yourself. And you're either going to wake up or you're going to stay asleep. There's no middle ground anymore. So the question is, are you ready to remember who the fuck you are? Or do you need another round of pain first? I have been going through this awakening, if you will, over the last month. And I've realized that, well, I knew this already, but there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. You're just disconnected from yourself. And everyone who is struggling is just disconnected from the true self, okay? Through life, through trauma, through neglect, which is trauma, and we're all doing these things waiting for something to be the thing that makes it right and fixes it, but none of that is going to work. None of it is going to work. You have to sit down and get real. What are you avoiding? What are you avoiding? What is trying to be heard in you? Your child self. Little 5-year-old you has something to say every time you decide that you don't want to feel the pain or the discomfort of the emotions that are coming up. It takes 90 seconds to fully feel an emotion, and you would rather numb, distract, or whatever instead of hear out the child that wants to be heard in the first place. All of your issues come from a space in your life where you didn't feel you were worthy enough to be heard, seen, acknowledged. And so instead of doing that for yourself, you do what everyone else did to you, which was shut you down, shut you up, push you back, and leave you there. So stop abandoning yourself and get real. Stop thinking that the job is the thing that fixes it. Stop thinking that the love is the thing that fixes it. None of that fixes it until you look inside at who you really are and let that person come to the forefront and live a life. And it is more important now than ever in the state of the world to stop living in survival mode. It is a trap designed by people who didn't give a fuck about you. Free yourself.
The real question is, why does survival mode kill creativity, and how do you break free? We first have to look at what is survival mode. Survival mode is a mental state where your brain prioritizes basic needs over abstract thinking. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for imagination and problem solving, gets overpowered by the amygdala, which is focused in the danger. For example, you're stressed out about an upcoming bill, and instead of brainstorming content ideas, your brain is stuck on a loop of how am I going to pay for this? When you're worried about making rent, paying off debt, or simply affording groceries, creativity takes a backseat, as it should. Your brain is in scarcity mode, which means you have less mental energy for deep thinking. You have the fear of failure, and the fear of failure becomes stronger because it feels riskier, and pressure to make money kills the joy of creating.
You see, survival mode keeps you in this perpetual state of fear, lack, and scarcity, with this desperate neediness to want to figure everything out and to do it fast, and it has you too focused on your mortality and what you're missing out and what you're not gaining. And so you spiral in the hurt, the disappointment, the stress, the worry of unmet expectations, standards, and deadlines that seem impossible to meet, with the loss of money, people, places, things, and that dream that you've been nurturing that seems like it will never, ever be fully realized. Take a deep breath with me, through your nose, out through your mouth. Say this with me. It all works out for me. Say it again. It all works out for me. One more time. It all works out for me. Whatever it is, yes, it all works out for you. Never ever against you and for no one else but you. So sit in the ease and the stillness of that affirmation. Trust the flow of it and only do what feels good within that flow. And whatever has to be figured out will work itself out without you ever knowing why or how.
So for example, if you want to make an artistic video, but you're so worried about monetization that you force yourself into following trends instead of making something authentic, that's also survival mode. Toxic relationships, heartbreak, or feeling unsupported can make it nearly impossible to tap into your creative flow. When your emotions are in turmoil, your mind is constantly distracted. Let's talk about the science behind it, okay? When you're stressed, your brain goes into survival mode, making creativity nearly impossible. And here is why. The prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain responsible for your imagination, your problem solving, and your planning and deep thinking. But under stress, this part of the brain shuts down completely because your body thinks survival is way more important than creative expression. For example, you sit down to brainstorm content, but instead of ideas flowing, your mind feels blank or scattered. The amygdala is your brain's alarm system. When it detects stress, it takes over and it triggers your fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. It also triggers your hyper-focused on immediate threats. And it is difficult thinking long-term or outside of the box. For example, if you want to film a YouTube video, but instead of feeling creative, you're panicked about how it will perform or if it's even good enough, some signs you're stuck in survival mode. The lack of inspiration or motivation, feeling exhausted even after resting, overthinking every creative decision out of fear, procrastination, or constant distractions. Okay, but wait, how do we know how to escape and reignite our creativity? All right, well, you can start by stabilizing your basic needs. Prioritize sleep, nutrition, and emotional well-being. Having a schedule will help, even if you can't stick to the whole thing. Then remove mental clutter. Journaling, therapy, or venting are top actions to help the mental clutter and also lower the stakes. Shift from, I have to create this huge masterpiece, to let me just play. When I started taking YouTube seriously a few months ago, I didn't even script my videos. And that was on purpose because I wanted to work through the years of survival mode. Change environments also. Travel, take a break, or work in new spaces. Your brain needs a fresh start sometimes. And find joy first. Do fun, unrelated activities to reset the brain. In conclusion, you can't create freely if your brain thinks you're in danger. Your first job is to get safe first. Then your creativity will flow naturally. Have you ever felt stuck in survival mode? What helped you break free? All right, like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more creative and self-improvement content, as you know. And bye-bye.